the young and the restless spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful Friday, the sun is shining, and I hope you are all having an absolutely fantastic week so far. Grab a huge cup of coffee or a snack, because we have a massive TV drama to unpack today. Let's get right into it. I cannot even breathe right now. Seriously, I am typing this up at 2 a.m. because I just finished watching the latest episode of The Young and the Restless, and my mind is completely and utterly blown. I am literally shaking with adrenaline and rage and excitement all at once. We need to talk about this right this very second, because if I don't vent about what just happened with Nick Newman and Marie Kirkland, I am going to explode. Did you guys see that ending? Did you see what I just saw? I am screaming at my television screen. I knew it. I absolutely 100% knew it from the very first second that woman stepped onto our screens. I have been watching this show since 2015, and let me tell you, I have learned a thing or two about how Genoa City operates. Whenever a random, perfectly sweet, overly understanding woman just magically appears out of nowhere to help a vulnerable Newman man, she is never just a good woman. Never. Remember when they tried this exact same trope with Dr. Anderson? Remember how she swooped in with her soft voice and her fake empathy and tried to destroy Nick and Sharon's lives? Yeah, that didn't work out too well for her either. But let me tell you, this situation with Marie Kirkland is on a completely different level of insane. Let's just back up for a second, because my brain is going a million miles an hour. Okay, back to the point. Let's look at how Marie was introduced to us. Nick was at absolute rock bottom. I mean, the man was literally hallucinating from the fentanyl that psycho Matt Clark got him hooked on. Nick had that terrifying, heart-wrenching nightmare in his motel room, where he imagined destroying his entire family. He saw Sharon passed out at the shadow room. He saw Mariah screaming at him about Cassie. He saw Adam attacking him. And he saw Chelsea blaming him for Connor's death. It was brutal. And then, he wakes up in a cold sweat, completely broken, and who is knocking at his door? Marie Kirkland. She just stands there with this angelic look on her face, played brilliantly by Jade Harlow, by the way. She says she heard him screaming and asks, "Do you have anything you want to share? Give me a massive break." I was yelling at the TV. "Nick, shut the door. Do not let this woman in." But of course, he is so desperate for a lifeline, so desperate to get clean and be a good man again, that he lets her in. And for the past few weeks, we have had to sit here and watch Marie play the absolute perfect sober companion. She has been so gentle, so understanding, always listening to Nick vent about his family, about Victor's expectations, about his fears of relapsing. She has been guiding him, holding his hand, acting like this beacon of light in his dark, drug-addicted world. And I know some people on the forums were actually rooting for them. I saw the comments. People were saying, "Oh, Marie is so good for Nick. Maybe she's his new love interest. Maybe she'll help him finally get over Sharon." Are you kidding me? I was sitting here pulling my hair out because her past was a complete and total blank. Who is she? Where did she come from? Why is she so invested in a random guy in a motel? But thank the soap gods, Nick Newman is not completely stupid. I am so proud of him right now. Even through the haze of his rehab, even with his brain chemistry completely messed up from the drugs, his Newman instincts finally kicked in. He started noticing the little things. And I love how the writers subtly layered this in. Nick would ask her a simple question about her family, and she would deflect. He would ask her where she worked before this, and she would give a vague answer. And then there were the late-night outings. Marie always had some excuse to leave in the middle of the night. So, what does our boy Nick do? He decides to play detective. And honestly, this was the most tense, edge-of-your-seat sequence I have seen on Y&R in months. I was biting my nails down to the quick. It is pitch black outside, the classic Genoa City nighttime aesthetic, and Nick decides to follow her. He is creeping through the shadows, tailing her car, and you can just see the conflict on his face. You know he is terrified that he is just being paranoid. He probably thinks, is this the fentanyl talking? Am I hallucinating again? Am I pushing away the only person trying to help me? Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me really set the scene for you guys, because the cinematography here was chef's kiss. The lighting was dark and moody. Nick is hiding in his car, watching Marie pull up to this secluded, sketchy-looking house. She gets out, looking over her shoulder, which is red flag number 1000, by the way, and walks up to the door. And when that door opened, I swear my heart stopped beating in my chest. Matt freaking Clark. Yes. I am using all caps because I am still freaking out. Matt Clark opened that door. The absolute monster who has been terrorizing Nick. The man who locked Nick and Adam in a storage unit in Las Vegas and left them to die. The man who purposely gave Nick poisoned fentanyl. The man who has been stalking Sharon and manipulating Noah and Sienna. That Matt Clark and Marie just walks right in like they are old best friends. I felt physically sick for Nick. Imagine being in his shoes. You are fighting for your life, fighting a horrific addiction, fighting to regain the trust of your parents, Victor and Nikki, who are off celebrating their vow renewal and completely oblivious to your suffering. You finally trust someone, you bare your soul to this woman, and she walks straight into the arms of the man who literally tried to murder you. The betrayal is so deep, so visceral, I could literally feel Nick's heart shattering through the screen. But guys, it gets so much worse. Because Nick doesn't just drive away. Oh no, he sneaks up to the window. He hides in the bushes in the dark, and he listens. And what he overhears changes absolutely everything. This isn't just a simple con job. This isn't Matt hiring an actress to mess with Nick's head. Marie is an assassin. I repeat, Marie Kirkland is a professional, cold-blooded killer. She is an assassin. She didn't just come to Genoa City to babysit a drug addict. She came to Genoa City because she is allied with Matt Clark, and their ultimate goal is to wipe out the entire Newman family. I am completely losing my mind over the scale of this plot. Do you realize what this means? Matt Clark isn't just playing some petty revenge game anymore. He wants them all dead. He wants Victor dead. He wants Nikki dead. He wants Victoria, Adam, Noah, Summer, all of them wiped off the face of the earth. And he brought in a professional hitwoman to do it. And the most brilliant, twisted part of their plan? They used Nick as the Trojan horse. Marie got close to Nick so she could infiltrate the family. She knows their schedules. She knows their weaknesses. She knows exactly when and where they are vulnerable, because Nick has been spilling his guts to her for weeks. And let's just talk about Victor Newman for a second, because I am sorry, but Victor is looking like an absolute fool right now. Victor has been strutting around town, acting like he is the master of the universe. He moved Matt Clark onto the Newman ranch because he thought he could control him. Victor actually looked Adam in the eye and said he had Matt handled. Handled? The man is plotting a mass assassination of your entire bloodline right under your nose. Victor. Victor is so busy fighting with Jack Abbott, so busy trying to steal Phyllis's company, so busy renewing his vows with Nikki and pretending everything is perfect, that he is completely blind to the very real monster living in his backyard. I love Victor, I really do, but his arrogance is going to get his family killed if Nick doesn't step up. Okay, back to the scene at the window. Nick is standing there in the freezing dark, listening to Marie and Matt casually discuss how they are going to slaughter his family. The look on Joshua Morrow's face, give that man an Emmy right now. You could see the exact moment the vulnerable, recovering addict died, and the fierce, protective Newman protector was born. His eyes went completely dark. Which brings us to the ultimate cliffhanger. The question that is going to keep me awake for the next 3 days until the next episode. What is Nick going to do? The episode ends with Nick clenching his fists, looking through the glass at this woman he thought was his savior, knowing she is a lethal weapon aimed at his parents and his children. Is he going to kill her? Am I the only one who thinks Nick is actually capable of murder right now? Because let's really think about his psychological state. Nick has been pushed past the brink of human endurance. He has been drugged, beaten, mocked, and emotionally tortured. He has lost his dignity. He has had nightmares where his own daughter, Mariah, screams at him that he is a disgrace. He has had his father tell him he is an embarrassment. He has absolutely nothing left to lose, except the physical lives of his family members. If Nick walks away and calls the cops, what happens? Matt and Marie are professionals. They will slip away. They will hide in the shadows, and they will strike when the Newmans least expect it. Nick knows the justice system in Genoa City is a complete joke. Look at how many times Phyllis has gotten away with literal crimes. Look at how Patty Williams is still running around causing chaos. Christine Blair is too busy crying over Danny Romalotti, quitting his music career to actually prosecute anyone effectively. Nick knows that if he wants to protect his family, he has to take matters into his own hands. But if he kills her, oh my god. If Nick actually crosses that line and murders Marie Kirkland in cold blood, his soul is gone. He will become exactly what Matt Clark wants him to be. A monster. A killer. It would completely destroy the fundamental core of who Nick Newman is. He has always been the good brother, the moral compass, the one who judges Adam for doing the dirty work. If Nick becomes a murderer, there is no coming back from that. The guilt would eat him alive, and he would absolutely relapse on the fentanyl to cope with the trauma. It is a no-win situation, and the writers have trapped him in a brilliant, agonizing corner. I know some people are saying Nick should just go to Adam, and honestly, yes, that is exactly what he should do. Adam is the only person who truly understands this kind of darkness. Adam knows how to deal with the Las Vegas underground. Adam knows Riser, he knows the criminal element, he knows how to make bodies disappear. If Nick goes to Adam and says, "Hey, my sober companion is a hitwoman hired by Matt Clark to slaughter our family," Adam wouldn't even blink. Adam would just say, "Okay, grab a shovel. Can we please get a Nick and Adam team up? I am begging the writers." Victoria is too busy making heart eyes at Kyle Abbott, which is a whole other disgusting tangent I don't even have the energy to get into tonight. And Victor is too arrogant to listen. It has to be the brothers, Nick and Adam, putting aside decades of bitter rivalry, teaming up to hunt down an assassin and save their family. It would be the most epic storyline of the decade. But wait, what if Marie catches him? What if she heard a branch snap outside the window? We are dealing with a highly trained assassin here, not some amateur. If Marie realizes Nick knows her secret, she won't hesitate to slit his throat right there in the bushes. Nick is physically weak from the drugs and the car crash. He is in no shape to fight a professional killer hand to hand. I am terrified for him. I am literally pacing my living room thinking about the danger he is in. And let's talk about the psychological warfare of Marie's betrayal. She sat there and held his hand while he cried about Cassie. She used his deepest, darkest traumas to gain his trust. That is a level of sociopathic evil that makes my blood run cold. Jade Harlow is playing this so perfectly. The way she transitions from the warm, caring friend to the cold, calculating killer in the span of a single scene is chilling. When she was talking to Matt, her voice dropped an octave, her posture changed, her eyes went dead. She is terrifying, and I kind of love her as a villain, even though I want Nick to absolutely destroy her. I am just so invested in this. For years, we have complained that Y&R was getting too boring, too focused on corporate boardroom meetings, and who is CEO of Jabbo, or Chancellor, or Newman. Oh, Billy and Kane are calling a truce to run Chancellor. Who cares? We have an assassin in Genoa City. We have a drug-addicted Nick Newman standing in the dark, contemplating cold-blooded murder to save his family from a mass slaughter. This is the kind of high-stakes, heart-pounding soap opera drama that made me fall in love with this show in the first place. I need to know what happens next. I need it right now. Is Nick going to burst through that door and strangle her? Is he going to run to Adam? Is Matt going to catch him snooping? The tension is unbearable. I am going to be obsessively refreshing the spoiler pages all weekend because I cannot handle the suspense. To all my fellow fans out there who have been watching this Nick spiral, we are finally getting the payoff. It is dark, it is gritty, it is terrifying, and it is absolutely brilliant television. Let me know in the comments what you guys think he is going to do. Do you think Nick has it in him to pull the trigger and end Marie's life? Or do you think he's going to find another way? Because I'm telling you right now, if he doesn't stop her, Genoa City is going to be planning a lot of Newman funerals very, very soon. Alright, I need to go try and calm down and maybe get an hour of sleep before the sun comes up. This show is going to be the death of me, I swear. But I wouldn't have it any other way.